Good morning
Goeiemôre.
and welcome to another sunshiny day. Goodness me, the weather's been holding, eh?
Yeah, we've had
It's been
great
it's been
weather.
brilliant here. Somebody has been struck by a tornado on is it on Saturday here in Mount Manganui. One of our South African friends that had their whole tent realigned on their caravan. So
Oopsie.
stuff still happens while the sun is shining in here. Um, I've been getting this question, I would say, the past few months a lot, and I had a few chats over the past week as well with a lot of people regarding retirement. And I want to put it out there. I am a financial advisor. I've been doing what I've been doing in South Africa. I've been doing this for the past 21 years. So I think I do know a tiny bit about retirement, not only to brag, but I'm also planning my own retirement.
Yeah.
That's what makes it even worse. So, yeah. Oh, so somebody saying, Mariska, you always look so beautiful so early. How do you do that?
Ja.
Sunlight liquid.
Dis net 'n front wat ek
Is it
voorhou. Deep inside I'm still sleeping.
okay. It's a bit early. It's 7 o'clock down here in New Zealand. And if there's any people from South Africa signing in this morning as well, this is what you could expect when you want to retire down in New Zealand. I also want to make a disclaimer here. If you watch this in 2 or 3 years' time, don't hold me to the figures I'm going to quote this morning because this is figures that is current on today's, like I said, today's economic circumstances, and anything can change really around that.
Mm.
So
So
yeah,
you've got an example of
yeah.
what it will look
The
like.
big question is actually is can we ever retire? And that was the question I had to ask myself. And I'm going to say that this was a question that was weighing heavily on myself.
Mm.
I had to, and I mean, you can't work forever.
Yes.
You really can't work forever, especially guys doing work with these two things, the hands, because those guys' bodies tire faster than we that write with pens. So
Mm.
be quite bland about that or frank about that.
Mm.
Um, at a certain stage of life, you are going to have to slow down.
Yeah, and you
What
never
then?
know what happens.
Yeah.
Even you'll
Even me, I mean, if I could
anything
start
can
losing
happen.
brain power being
Yep.
or by reason of being married too long or something. So
Yeah.
the age in New Zealand is 65. That's the age of retirement.
Okay.
So before 65, you are supposed to work, and after 65, you can think of retirement.
Mm.
Now, a lot of South Africans like me has arrived late in life here, and the rules are roughly, and I'm saying it roughly because they can change again. 20 years after residence, you can get
Superannuation.
superannuation or pension in New Zealand. That's
Yeah.
government pension. I'm going to talk about the figures now. So 20 years after arriving in New Zealand, you can get this government pension.
No, not after arriving, after
After a
residence.
residence, sorry, after a residence, let's get that clear. But it was 10 years in the past, and they changed the rules to 20 years not too long ago. So they've given us I was going to say grace period. I'm on 17 years.
Okay.
Okay, there is a calculator somewhere in the internet. Sorry, I
Why
don't
did
have
you
it.
get a grace period?
No, that's not a grace period. It's like a phasing in period.
Oh, okay.
So, and everybody's got the same. The date from what you arrive, it's a date, and then the amount of years thereafter that you'll get. So at age 67, I'm allowed to get superannuation.
It's not the date after you arrive,
But
it's
the
the
date
date
of
of the
residence,
residence.
the date of residence.
Yeah.
At my age 67, I can get residence, while the rest of the guys that's been here longer than me will get at 65 as everybody else.
Mm.
And then you get a government pension. Currently, and I'm saying currently, this pension is not. They don't take off any other savings. I know there's talks that they want to do this. They want to do it means tested, which means they will see you're getting $10,000 per month in from your other savings. You're not going to probably get the full amount of pension.
Okay.
That is what they are talking about. It hasn't happened yet. Let's be quite frank on that.
Okay.
It hasn't happened yet, and I think if it should happen, people are going to kick up a big
Yeah,
laugh because they all feel they are entitled to this. But we know as South Africans, we know governments can change stuff around very quickly. So currently, if you are single, the amount that you would get for pension is $496 per week. 496. Put it in your head. Okay, that's if you're one. If you are two people, you'll get $763
For the couple.
for the couple. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's better if you have two houses. You stay in that house, and I stay in this house, and we get much more money. So that's just how
Get divorced before you retire.
I've got to make the sum. You see. so that's why I always say two houses is important.
Okay.
So I've just played around with the scenario. And the scenario is that if you are 40 years old and you have arrived and you're 40 years old at the date of residence, you've got 25 years from 40 to 65.
Yes.
So there's no other period that can come in, blah, blah, blah. At age 65, just keep that in mind, the government contributions toward your KiwiSaver will stop at age 65.
Okay.
All right. Government contributions towards your KiwiSaver starts from age 18 to 65.
Okay.
And everybody who's got an IRD number can get that.
Yeah.
Okay. So at age 65, this is what I played around with. At age 65, I've worked out that your KiwiSaver from the age of 40 would have accrued to the one partner would roughly be about $270,000 if he was earning $90,000 per year. And this could be anybody.
Okay, that is when if you start KiwiSaver from
age 40. So at age 40, you get your residence. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm not talking to the Kiwis this morning because they can start from age 80. At age 40, you're getting your residence. You start your KiwiSaver, it's automatically. The company gives 3%, you have to give 3%. But you can give up until 10%. But I'm just working on people who's just arrived, not a ton of money, so they give the 3%. The government, the company gives 3%, and I haven't added the government portion here as well because it could go up or it could go down. Okay. So if one partner earns $90,000 roughly, and the other partner earns $75,000. So you can go and work out, if you're listening to me this morning, where you are. Are you above this equation or are you below this equation? So in total, they'll be earning about $165,000 for the whole income for the house, or for the household.
Yeah.
So this $165,000 is going to carry on until the age 65. I haven't done any increases or fact that they will jump ship and get better jobs, better pay, and so forth. So just based on that, their 3% and the company 3%, the one partner will have $270,000 roughly in his KiwiSaver, and the other partner will have $225,000. Okay. And that is at age 65. So at age 65, they will be receiving the $763 per week. And I've worked out at today's money, they will need $1,330. I'm going to come back to that now. $1,330 per week. And with that savings of $270,000 in KiwiSaver, plus the $225,000 that will give them an income as well, plus the government superannuation of $763 for the two of them, they will still need $209 a week just to get to that figure of $1,330. And I don't want to paint the most bleak picture here.
No, but you have to be.
I've got to be honest and be open with this and say it's probably not going to be enough. It's great that the government is looking after us, but it's probably not going to be enough.
Yeah.
So there's quite a few different things around this. At current stage, because you're working for us, I'm also putting money towards your KiwiSaver. I'll just have to tell you one or another time what you have there.
Yeah, maybe that's a good idea. Seeing that I have to go and live in my own house.
Oh yeah. Getting divorced before 65. The big thing, with a lot of people is they use the KiwiSaver to buy their first house.
Yeah, because you can.
Because you can, and sometimes you've got to do it. You just need the money. It's the only way. And guys and girls, I'm the first one to always say, buy a house as soon as possible. Buy a house. We've this year done amazing, or let me say last year and this year, we've done amazing things for people in the house market. So if you're thinking about buying a house, let me know. I can get somebody to give you a call. Amazing thing has happened to people buying their first house. It is just... It is so important, and I can't stress this enough. It's so important that you get into your first house as soon as possible.
And the thing is, if you have a house and you get your $1,300 a week, and your house is paid off,
you can
you
live.
can live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you buy your house, you've got to have useless things. Those grey rubbish between the 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
To get it paid off.
Do not go for a 30-year term. My goodness, the difference between a 30-year term and a 20-year term isn't that much. You, even if you have to give up coffee for the rest of your life, do a 20-year term and pay a small amount more. I've split my mortgage up into 5 different mortgages, and I started paying something like $20 per week more on each of these, and it has gone down significantly. So we have another 11 years that I'm mortgage free, and we've only bought this house 3 years ago.
Yeah. So it is possible.
It is possible, and I'm not chucking in large chunks of money in there.
No.
I'm just doing a small bit per week more.
I think the thing is you just have to work clever.
And the first few months, it shook me because it's money out of my pocket that I now it's gone. Now I don't feel it anymore. That's the nice thing about that. And you got to work clever with your money. It is such a short period, and if you don't work clever with your money, if at age 65 you are in that position where you haven't bought a house yet, you do have problems. I promise you do have problems because a lot of banks won't look at you anymore.
Okay.
They won't look at you. They're going to say, okay, how are you going to repay us?
Yeah, that makes
Because
sense.
at age 65, they say if you take a 30-year mortgage, because all banks want to sell you a 30-year mortgage because that's when the banks make a lot of money out of you. They want to sell you a 30-year mortgage. You understand? Banks make money out of the interest. Okay. So a 30-year mortgage has got about 3 times more interest than a 20-year mortgage.
Yeah.
I'm just roughly plucking figures out of the air now, so don't shoot me on this. But
yeah.
But once you have a 20-year mortgage at age 65, that's still age 85. And the banks are going to say, how are you going to repay this?
That makes sense.
And banks are on the bottom line. They want their money back in a certain stage. So the problem is people use these KiwiSavers for deposits. And they take this money and suddenly the KiwiSaver go down to $1,000 because that's the amount of money that has to be left.
Then you're actually starting from scratch.
Starting from, and I know, guys, if that is the only way to do it, do it. Please do it. Please don't go and tell your mortgage advisor, whoever he may be, Jan Viljoen said, I should not touch my KiwiSaver. If that is the way to buy a house, please do that. A house is regarded as a good investment in New Zealand. The Kiwis has all the years saved money by buying a house or a second house. That is how let me say the smarter Kiwis. There's still a lot of Kiwis out there renting. Sadly enough, there's a lot of them out there renting as well.
And I think if you can afford, like they do, a second house or a third house, that will add to your retirement fund in the end. So, I mean, if you get your $1,300 and you've got a house that you live in and a house that you get rental money from, that rental money can make a huge difference to your life.
Because a lot of stuff happens at age 65. At age 65, the following will happen: you'll get some discount on your rates. You get some, I think, discount on your electricity. You can ride the bus for free. You can go to all the swimming pools for free, and so forth. Just because
so there are a lot of benefits.
It's a lot of benefits to be 65, but it's a drawback because your body is going backwards. Let's be quite frank on this. Your body's not getting younger. And there's a lot of people who will reach 65 and think, oh, I'm still good enough to work on or go on with what I'm doing. And a lot of companies, I haven't heard of actually any company that chases the people away at age 65. This is the nice thing about New Zealand.
The place where we bought our car,
that guy was
the guy
85.
that helped us was, he was 85 and he was still working, going, no problems. All
right, I'll come back to the questions just now. If you reach 65 and you can go on, a lot of companies is putting you on what they call a type of contract that's a bit more loose. That means you can come in for 4 days a week. Or if you want to go and play golf on a Wednesday in the afternoon, you can do that as well. So, Vanita just saying, but you want the choice to work or not. Yeah, the problem is a lot of people won't have a choice to work or not. They are physically going to have to work in order just to survive. And the nice thing is, even if you're that age, you can still go around and work. If you go to Pack and Save, and I'm just taking Pack and Save. You're going to give me something today. I hope it's not COVID. If you go just Pack and Save, you see older people packing the racks down there. They're busy unpacking stuff out of boxes. And it is possible to go work after 65. And let me say that in a different type of industry is what you are used to. So you probably don't want to stay or keep on working in this in the segment or the area that you are in. I mean, the break is as good as a holiday, they say. Somebody's just asking, Pamela Joseph, can you give us advice on how you pay extra on your mortgage and what your suggestions would be, please? Okay, she's got a bit of a cough this morning. Let's hope she hasn't got anything bad for us. So, what I've done is my mortgage allows me, if I go into my mortgage, it says there, do you want to pay extra per month or per week and so forth, and then I just got a bit of a slider there. I can slide this as far as I want to forward, but it does have certain, how can I say, restrictions. The bank allows me only, let's just say, just for interest sake, no, I can't get that figure. Per mortgage is different. So let's say on the one mortgage, I can pay up to $200 extra per week. If I have got the money, I would pay that. But what I've always said, even if I just start with $10 this month, and in 2 or 3 months increase that by $15 and so on, until I'm getting used to paying this amount of money, because this is money that comes out of my pocket. I unfortunately doesn't have a third or a fourth job or something like that, or an uncle that has died and given me a lot of money, or those type of things. So this is money that I'm busy earning, and I have to cut that out of my budget for my household. So this is money that I would have spent on coffee, or that I would have taken to do the movies, or those type of things. I would rather watch the movies at home, those type of things. Everything costs money if you go and do that. Just having one meal out per week less, or not buying those pies every day, all of that can go back into your mortgage. And as soon as you start with that slider, you can see this mortgage will be repaid in this amount of years. And I've popped mine up now to the furthest that it can go. And currently, I'm going to repay my mortgage according to my bank in 11 years from about a year ago. So it's about 10 years left in that mortgage still for me. Let me see if there's any other questions. Rita asking, so what can you do to make up the shortfall? Rita, I'm just thinking at age 65 and you have a shortfall per month. To point one, try and not use your Kiwi savers. Keep your Kiwi savers in there. Keep on working. Go ahead. Stay with your current job. Keep on working and get that income coming in, and use that income for as long as you can, and still add to your Kiwi saver. At this stage, at age 65, government contributions will stop for your Kiwi saver, but you can still keep on adding to the Kiwi saver. That is the nicest part about Kiwi saver, is there's no end to that. And don't go and do what a lot of other people have done with Kiwi savers. Is once you get the Kiwi saver, of course, at age 65, you can get the Kiwi saver. You can make it tax-free, or it is tax-free. So, sorry, it is tax-free at age 65. And you can go and do with that money absolutely what you want to do. You can buy the new car. You can take the overseas holiday. If there's enough money in that Kiwi saver, and you are still well enough to work for a few years, have a look and see if you cannot repay your mortgage, or if there's any other debt. You're not supposed to have big debt at age 65. Guys, you've got to listen to me. There's a lot of people living on credit cards. There's a lot of people living on GEM and all these type of things, Afterpay. Whatever the reason is behind that, you must cut those type of things. Those things need to stop. That is very, very expensive interest rates. And I know they're going to hate me for saying this. These cards cost 19, 20, 25% interest per year. So if you got something on $100 on a 25% per year, that means you're going to pay an additional $25 just towards the $100 that you used. And normally by the time that you've repaid that money, the thing that you've bought doesn't even work anymore. That's what I found out on my credit card when I was back in South Africa. And I know South Africans, we used to live on debt. It's you've got 3, 4, 5 credit cards because the banks just gave it to you. It's as easy as that. But try cutting that down. Um, do the same with your car um, HPs. The loans on your vehicles, repay them earlier. Put an extra $50 per month on that car, and you'll see big things happen very soon. My first car that I had to bought in, or my second car that I bought in New Zealand was a bit more expensive, and I had to take out a loan on that. And I just repaid $50 extra every time that it went through. And that $50 eventually I swung into my mortgage as well. So that $50 repaid that car. I think it was in 2.5 years rather than the 5 years over the period. And it was very weird that it could really pay it down that fast. And it does that work for me 100%. So age 65, you're now getting $1,330, but actually getting less if you were this couple that I had the example on. If you are getting less than that, they were still $209 per week short. So let's say either of them would have to stay at work and work longer if their health allows them. Even if they just work for another 3, 4, 5 years, let's say from 65 to 70, and not use their KiwiSaver, and still keep the contributions going into the KiwiSaver. Talk to the guys at work and say, this is what I'm going to do. I need to do this. We as South Africans, we actually need to do something like this because we've arrived late in our lives down here. There's a few of us that have arrived as young people, and I'm glad they have gotten out, and they've got way more, like I say, a way better future ahead of them than we have because they have so much more time to save for their retirement here. And then the main thing about retirement is it comes so quickly. It really comes so quickly. People think, oh, we still got a lot of time. We've got a lot of time. It doesn't. You got to do it from the very first day. So are you now feeling better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you discussed how you can
I can do what can you do for more? Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
As Benita said, if you can borrow on your mortgage, as it is a lower interest rate to finance a car, it is. You can borrow on your mortgage and then repay that as well. But at the end of the day, at 65, you need to be basically debt free, 100% debt free. It is so important. You don't want that stuff to come off your income first because then you still need a bigger and a bigger income. Now, if a lot of people think $1,330 per week is not a lot of money, and I fully agree with that. It's not a lot of money, and this is what the couple of age 40 that I've used as an example will have on age 65. They will have $1,330 per week, or they would need $1,330 per week, but they were $209 short. The $1,330 can work if you have no debt. This is very important. If you do not need to repay your house or you do not need to pay rent. Because if you need to pay rent, that could be another $700 or $800. And I mean, then there's not a lot of money left over. So you basically screwed over. Sorry for the lot of English words.
I'm gonna love and leave you.
Okay, say goodbye to the people.
Bye.
She's not feeling the best this morning, so yeah. The other important thing is to make your investment work hard for you. And I know last year was a terrible year investment wise. Let me say, most of the KiwiSavers ended up being in a negative, and we had people shift all over the show. The problem is if you shift on a negative, it could be that the money, or when you withdraw that money, because you have to withdraw from one KiwiSaver to the next, you have lost 10% of your money. Although your KiwiSaver is at -10, it may have looked that you've already lost 10%, but it's not like that. That is the shares have fallen to a -10%. I'm just using -10% as a good idea. So your shares have fallen to -10%. And if you keep that up, as soon as the market returned to where it was, the shares will once again up. It'll wipe out that -10 and grow positive. One of our KiwiSavers was for the whole year, it was -12%. Mine was in there as well. And I kept on saying to everybody, guys, just keep it up. Don't move. Out of all of those clients, I think I've lost about 4 that went somewhere else. And in December, that KiwiSaver came back strong, and they made us just over 10%, and they've locked that in. So we've got 10% for 2023. Although the whole of the year was basically at minus 12, it was hectic. Even I thought about moving my money somewhere else, but now we've locked that amount of money in, and we're going up for the new year. Robin Bobby Baxter asking, is it possible to move your South African pension into your Kiwi pension? You're probably meaning your South African retirement annuity into your Kiwi saver at the end of the day. It is possible. You can do that after 3 years. We've got a company in South Africa that we use for that, but it's not always a very good idea. I would say rather suggest is have that money somewhere on the side and invest that into something else. We've got brilliant investment plans that you can, and the fact is that money is very available. So once you put money into KiwiSaver, it's locked into until age 65. I know one of the rules of KiwiSaver says extreme hardship, but they take, if you get the extreme hardship money, they take 7 weeks of living costs for you, and that's the amount that they will pay out of your KiwiSaver. They won't pay you out any more than that. So if you have an emergency or something that happens to you, then you will really need money, and you can't get that out of your KiwiSaver. So I always believe in having an emergency fund, and that an emergency fund for me is 3 months of whatever you're earning. So if you're earning $2,000 per month, you will have to have $6,000 lying somewhere, because you can lose your job. Your car can get so badly damaged that you need a deposit for a new one, stuff like that. Just keep that in mind. You always got to have something, some backup at the end of the day. Yeah, I don't see a lot of other questions popping up, guys. If there's any more questions, uh, somebody just say what I need is an inheritance from a rich relative. Yep. So perhaps you got an uncle who's got Microsoft or something that's going to leave that to you. That will probably help a lot. So let's just get this back, summarize this. You have to be debt free at age 65. If you have to work for longer because you arrived later in New Zealand, you have to be debt free by that date. If it's age 68 or 67, you've got to be debt free by that time. Otherwise, you're not going to survive. I'm being quite frank on that. Pay off your debt faster. Just paying a little more per month will make a massive, massive difference. I promise you, it makes a massive difference. Get your KiwiSaver in the right funds. It's very important. A lot of people are way too risk averse, and they are in the default funds, or a lot of people don't even know where the KiwiSavers are. If you need help with any of these, feel free to reach out. Even if you need a mortgage or any of those things, I've got guys that I know that I do trust that help people with mortgages. I've seen what they do, and they've worked wonders sometimes. Sometimes I think, geez, there's no way that these guys are going to get a house, and then it does help in. Brian asking, do you factor in the sale of expensive toys when you get old? Brian, yes, it's important to factor that in as well. But also keep in mind that as you are growing old, your toys are also growing old, and newer technology pops up the whole time. And it could be that at your date that you want to sell your toy, it's not going to get the amount of money that you thought it was going to get. So I would rather suggest work in a way lesser amount into that toy if you want to sell it. And I would rather have more money than less money. Or suddenly come at 65 and think, geez, now I've got another $50,000 gap down here. Or I would rather say, I would love to have $50,000 more at age of retirement than I thought I was going to have. So, all right, that's me in a nutshell. I'm sorry, Mariska, had to leave us early. So this morning I'm going to, before I greet you, we've got a new thing. We're going to give away two couples. Two couples is going to go next year. They are going to go from Auckland all the way to the Bay of Islands, and they are going to go on a boat cruise for 4 days. They're going to have the time of their life. They're going to get off in Russell. They're going to have a party down there, and they'll be getting back in day 4. So that's what we're offering for next year. And the only criteria around that is you do not have to answer smart questions. You just have to be a client of JB Financial Services. That is our company. So, all right, I'll send you more information on that soon. That'll hit the news. I'm this morning paying for the tickets. And if I've got enough money, I'll try and go with you guys. Okay. All right. Guys and girls, that's me. Thanks a lot. Next week, same time, same place. See you. All right.